I love all the tactical ones as well, but I don't think that's what you're talking about, is
No,
it?
because like Final Fantasy Tactics is actually a good game because it's more like chess than anything else. But there's also what was it, Star Ocean Till the End of Time on the PS2, which is one of the most unending JRPGs I've ever played. It just level 225 or
There
level
were
255
some nice
you
bits
get
and
to.
just some bits in it that I hated.
Well, the reason I liked it was an action RPG, and I never really played one that actually wasn't just turn based, and it really addicted me, and I played that for
The fact it was an action game, but then it had things like, you
had
use
trophies. It was one of the first games to ever have trophies, like even though its own trophies.
Yeah.
But it had a whole separate trophy section that you had to load up separately just to see these trophies, and they were impossible. Like, defeat the final boss using only 3 level 1 characters. Because you could take, like, certain amount of characters time. You had to keep 3 characters aside and never level them up. And then level them up just using the boss. Oh, and also they couldn't level up at the end of the boss fight. You had to equip items that meant they couldn't level up. So even after defeating the final boss, which wasn't actually the final boss because there was giant things, you had to have... In fact, it might have been that final ultimate boss sort of thing. You had to have these 3 characters that you just leveled up with gear, just had the best gear mushed into them and got really lucky, and then you couldn't level them up at the end. They had to stay level 1. Utter insanity. I don't think
like
anyone's
the fact
ever finished
the only
it.
thing I liked about it was things. There were small little bits that I liked. Like
I
if
will
you
say,
explored
I
a
haven't played it
map
for like 10
and you
years or
100%ed the map, it would give you extra items and things. I really liked that.
Oh, you had to like go in these
But it had
areas
lots of
and
things
stuff.
like an attack.
Ooh.
You could
legs
attack,
are
and it
falling
would
off.
either take away your magic or your health. But as soon as they'd gone, it would actually just kill you.
Yeah,
So
either
attacking
losing-
someone could kill you.
Yeah.
Regularly. This wasn't sort of like there's one move that does
But
it.
I
that
like
happened
you die
across
if you run
the
out of
board.
mana. That was a really
That
interesting sort of thing.
kid.
There was some real interesting stuff in there. But I can't stand turn-based games.
Anyway,
So crap.
no, turn-based games are the best.
So dull.
So there's a Catan.
No. See, that sort of thing when you have that sort of nice strategy and stuff, I'd much prefer it to be real-time strategy. That's more fun. But okay, I can understand where I like.
There's no
Catan,
way
I
we're
like
playing
that sort of thing.
real-time Catan.
But a game where it's like you've got 3 guys here, and they take turns battling.
Pixel Tactics is wonderful as well.
There's
It's a card
just-
game.
We'll
put a
play
link
that
to
soon.
that.
Yeah, we'll play that soon at some point. But no, there's no.
I keep
fun,
saying
there's
we're going to make a video of it, but we never quite have the time to sit down and do it. We
my
will do
leg's
that at
falling
some
off.
point.
I like how there's just people are going to think there's a beautiful square
Live
moon
action.
out that we live in Minecraft.
Yeah.
It's just that's our square moon. How long have
We
been recording for?
we
How long
should
does the
do
thing
some
say?
live action. We're coming up. May have ended.
We're coming up to May have ended.
Yeah, we're ending soon.
Well, let's actually give it a proper ending for once. Let's just end it. Let's change the rules and just have an end roughly about the hour mark, and actually just do this slightly better. Because it's not exactly a gimmick.
Actually,
it's...
I actually cut 8 frames early last video. It was just a better ending.
Rebel. Yeah, no, we're actually going to have a proper ending.
No, we're not.
I think we're going to.
I'm fairly confident we've overrun
Also,
already.
kind of want to shrink these down because my leg's about to drop off. Good lord.
We only have to last another 2 minutes, really.
Well, that's a challenge for most people. Bow, chicka, bow, wow.
Anyway,
Shut up.
I don't think any of this is on there anymore. So,
Well, no, we're going to keep going.
We're just talking
even
for the
if
sake
this has
of
gone
it.
over, even if this has gone over the hour, we're going to include this. We're going over the hour this time. We're breaking new ground. This is new. This is it.
Okay.
This is it, people. This is the shit. We're going over. We're going over right now.
Okay, so
Overtime.
yeah,
In fact,
I was
don't
going to
even-
ask if people wanted live action.
Yeah, live
talks.
action. No,
Would you-
it's
games.
games.
Yeah,
It's
live
Nerd Gear
action Let's
plays, but
Plays.
live action thing. So on the IRL channel,
We'll probably do some of
um,
that on this channel as well.
We'll play board games and stuff. That might
Yeah.
be fun. So I'll edit them in my style, or he'll edit them in my style. So we'll have like the same the quick edits and stuff, but
Yeah.
with a game of Catan or something. Might be fun.
We'll need to
Let us
edit
know.
them in your go if I'm playing. I take my time.
He takes so long. There's me. It's like my right. I'm like roll, iron sheep, whatever. Buy this done. Phoomp. He's there going.
And yet I win 90% of the time.
Not here. You haven't. You've lost 2 out of the 3 matches we've played here, and you lost at Yahtzee.
I only lost one game here. I lost one game here legitimately to you.
Uh-huh.
I won one game legitimately to you. And then my sister and her boyfriend came over and
destroyed
teamed
you.
up against me.
That's
Literally
smart.
even saying, I'm taking this position, not because it helps me, but just because I know you're going to go there. And the two of them teamed up
Aw.
against me. And obviously, if you've
Tiny
got 2 people
violin.
teaming up against you... Also, it's a game based on statistics. You're going to lose sometimes.
Against
But
me. you're definitely gonna lose.
universally, I have a much bigger high hit rate.
Higher,
Success rate.
higher rate.
Anyway,
Well done, Mark, right?
is it moral for games to be addictive?
No, because they're
So
shit
should we-
games.
But they're not. Faster Than Light is an addictive game.
I don't find Faster Than Light addictive. That's the thing. Because
it is an addictive game. It has addictive stereotypes in, and it's designed for you to play regularly. And you argue that this is something that makes it good, rather than you play through the game once and you've won it, and you can learn an exact, precise path.
If you've played through the game once and won it, you're a god. There is no way you've played through Faster Than Light. Have you actually finished the game yet?
No.
See, I did, and I just kind of went, "Oh, I'll stop playing that now. I'll go play other things."
But you to get hold of, say, for example, all of the ships.
The fact is, with
it's
blocking,
not a you. I mean,
I
you
haven't
look at
unlocked
the
anything
if you
like
look
all
at the
the ships.
paths, for example. There's you have to find this odds and this odds and this odds, which means you have to keep replaying it to get hold of that. And we've both done the 16 hours have passed. Oh, I was playing this game.
I broke 24 now.
24 hours straight?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's addictive behaviour. That is
It's
because
nothing very- That's
the
why I play
nature of the
everything.
game.
But I don't then. It's not the same as an addiction. Because I don't wake up in the middle of the night in a cold sweat going, "Holy shit, I have to play Faster
It's a
Than
different
Light."
sort of addiction.
But it's when I look at my Steam list and I go, "Holy shit, it's Faster Than Light, I have to play that." It's when you're playing it, it's an addiction. But when you're not playing it, it's not there. That's the thing. It may be addictive while you're playing it, like Civilization games and Alpha Centauri especially, which is the sort of
as someone-
the sun
okay.
setting. One more. Why is it rising again? Well, it's 7 days later.
I mean, for the record, I did
Alpha Centauri.
constantly start sleeping, dreaming in Faster Than Light. So for me, I even had the really weird dream where I was trying to work out what crew members you would need for vlogging, for recording a podcast. I was trying to work out if I could turn power off to one of the cameras, then we could get higher missiles. And yeah, I got really fucked up, and that's when I
love that
stopped.
You've got a Faster Than Light ship, but you're there going, "All powers to the YouTube!" Just
Well,
That'd
no,
be
because
great.
my brain was trying to plan the next Tubecast.
Maybe it's just you. The whole problem is
and
just
Faster
you.
Than Light started seeping in. Well, you could say that, but it's the same Pavlov experiments that has been proved time and time again as a legitimate thing, and it's how casinos work as well.
But the thing is that when you're playing it, you don't. It's not. You walk away.
When
you walk away, there's nothing.
It's
you
like
don't have that addiction
both
anymore.
of us have played poker,
Yeah,
and we walk
I'm
away from
fantastic
poker.
From poker.
But
I don't
that
walk
doesn't
away.
mean that
I
there
walk away
isn't.
from poker when the lunch bell
But there
rang. That's when I
is.
stopped playing.
But there is gambling addiction, and
Yeah.
that's a real thing. And the same thing's true. And the fact that people create gambling games to abuse people with gambling addictions is wrong, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And the question is, this game has many of the same things that the person who created a game for people with gambling addictions, which to an extent World of Warcraft
Wasn't there a Boston
sort of
Legal
is.
episode about this?
There was, but they were picking at gambling establishments, whereas we're talking about people who
No,
are
they're picking at video
one
games,
step
weren't
further
they?
away from it.
There's a video game episode.
Oh yeah, where someone dies of it.
Yeah, because he played it too long, which happens
Yeah.
a lot. But yeah, the real thing is though, I would love to ban it because all the addictive games tend to be shitty, and I would sacrifice one Fast and Light just so most companies wouldn't have to make all their StarCrafts and their World of Warcrafts and
The
their
thing is,
other
though,
Blizzard games.
and this is the other side of the coin, is that without addictive nature in gameplay, an awful lot of games go very, very, very quickly. Because once you remove all of the... Because, I mean, you're correct in that there's an awful lot of things like leveling, for example.
If you're enjoying something, I can't stand leveling, but if you're enjoying something, like Just Cause 2, I have put in way over 1,000 hours now. I've gone way over 1,000 hours, but I'm not... There's no addiction there, and I play it just simply because I find it fun. I'm not there going, I have to play
I
Just Cause
agree,
2.
and I don't think Just Cause 2 is one which implements a large amount of addictive game.
But you've got to get the
gameplay.
crates. You've got to go get all the crates, and when you get the crates, you get better items. So you've got to get
You
the better
don't.
items. So there's leveling up there, but there's no addiction sort of. It's numbers. It's all for just numbers. It's the games
It is
just
the
high on
love of numbers.
I have no love of numbers. As we established out with the physics, tying that in, I have no love of numbers. That was really good. I did a boom.
But no,
I did a light flick when I did that.
there are lots of interesting things that go on with... it's Pavlovian responses. It's just getting
Is that why I
people
stopped playing
into that
poker whenever the
nature.
bell rang?
That is exactly
Or
it.
is it just because I was at lunchtime? I missed that, my metal suitcase, sitting it down. What are we playing today, guys? It was great because I was when I'm with all the money. Not because I was the best player, just because I owned the set.
Yeah.
I
We
don't
didn't actually play with money, for the record. We played without money.
You see, there's a... With games, there's no real I don't have that burn. I don't know. I don't understand. This is not a place
The
I've
thing
never
is
been addicted to things.
people design games that you want to keep playing,
Yeah.
and
But see,
but
you're
in general,
there's two things.
in
There's two
general,
things.
if it's a game that you constantly want to replay, that is an addictive nature.
But if you get nothing out of it, surely they're not making it addictive. They're just making the best game they can be. Like Fast and Light weren't making it. We want people to play this for 1,000,000 hours. They're going. We want to make this the best game we can make this. Compared to something like where they go, oh, it's a Facebook thing. You have to like and Farmville and poke.
So
and
is
this.
it different depending on what you're trying to do?
I think it's different depending on the circumstances.
So if someone creates, for example, a cult because they genuinely believe it makes people's lives better, and even if it doesn't, but they make a cult that is as good and gets people and hooks people in as quickly as possible, because why wouldn't you want to join my cult? So if that you make a system that gets you as quickly as possible, is that them less ethically iffy as someone who knows that they're making a cult just to make money or something?
I don't know, but that's cults. That's not a video game. I would spend more time picking my cult. It's not something you make drunk. I've many times I've been really sleepy. I've gone, fuck it, I'm going to buy all these games on Steam. I wouldn't go, I'll join a cult. That's not something I do when I'm tired. Hang on.
It's not something that you do, but it doesn't mean that it can't be done.
The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few.
Or the one.
Or the one. I think that's the I was doing the thing. High five. That's why we shouldn't ever ban things that only affect small amount of people.
What, addictions?
Yeah, we shouldn't ban things that could be addictive because it would just screw over everyone else. It's like that one kid who talks in class and he just hold everyone behind. They're going, oh, you stupid bitch of a teacher. Why are you doing that? That's the sort of thing that's going. I hate people who do that. I never ban anything, and I don't care about the morals.
Okay,
actually,
so
I do care. If
we acknowledge, we'll acknowledge that we're not going to legalize it because we think that causes more problems in general.
Illegalize or legalize?
Sorry, we will not. We will not
it.
Make it illegal.
Illegalize it
because otherwise, we could end up with it all go underground. People secretly playing secretly playing WoW in back alleys. Suddenly the price of servers goes up because they now have to be undercover, which now means the subscription fees goes up. Suddenly people start turning to crime so that they can actually afford enough money.
Actually, I have a great
and the grind levels
this.
go up so much they have to spend their whole lives doing it.
There's a game that I played recently that
I've just realised that's a CAD story. And I thought I was being original.
There's a game that I played recently. What was it called? It was Bullet Run or something. That's a very much... I can't remember who made it. But it just... When playing that game, it just feels like a giant advert for the other things you can buy in the game. Because it constantly throws up with things going, oh, you can buy this. This doesn't say, oh, buy these things. But it really is really intrusive. There's a different side to it there. See, all this comes down to the free-to-play. I don't mind if you make an addictive game and you're not making anything out of it. I don't really care. You're making the best game you can make. That's fine.
See, I think it's all ethically wrong, regardless of whether or not it should be legalized, legal or not legal.
Illegalized. I like that word. I invented it.
I do think that it's morally wrong to try and create a game which is like that. But I like games which are really short, and it's very hard to make a very short game addictive. It's practically impossible.
Fast and Light's only an hour and a half long.
And not if you want to complete 100%, whereas if you want to complete 100% Portal... It takes at most 2 hours.
If you could complete all of Faster Than Light in one go.
I'm fairly confident you can't.
Oh, because you have to unlock things for different ships.
Because you have to unlock things with different ships.
You wouldn't be able to get all the rooms, but you would be able to...
But you can't even guarantee... If someone says, do this achievement in this playthrough, there is no way you can play that playthrough and guarantee that you will do that. Someone's
done it in the world.
No, it's doable, but it's not a guarantee, which is where the insane addictive nature of the...
But it was only
I spent a whole hour, now I've got to spend another whole hour because I didn't get what I was trying to do, and now I've got to spend another hour because I didn't get it, and now I've got to spend another hour, and now I'm getting there, I've got to try again.
I don't get that. I like playing the game, and the unlocks were just magic. It's why I don't like trophies. I fucking hate trophies. Trophies ruin games, because Shadow of the fucking Colossus, I was playing through Shadow of the Colossus, and I killed a thing. I was like, oh, I killed a thing. And this is kind of a sad moment. It dies in slow motion. Bling trophy! You've killed a thing! Fuck! I'm killing my mood. I hate trophies. People who go after trophies are just... That's the sort of thing. That's where it starts. That's building on top of games. That's there, because trophies is just play the game more. Play the game more.
It is, yeah.
Do these things with
part
the game
same
that
addictive
aren't
nature,
actually part of the game. And then I just argue. I like hard trophies. I'll be like Wipeout. Wipeout, you played Wipeout from the new one, on the HD one. on the PS3, you could play that for 1 million hours and never see a trophy. It's like just the hardest thing in the world.
But I mean, carrying on
wonderful.
with sort of the addictive nature of things, what about Harry Potter? Is that ethically wrong? Because seriously, by the time, particularly in book 2, I remember I could not put down that book. And book 5 to an element, but only in the last few chapters. You get to that point where if someone says, put the book down,
No,
I would quite happily murder them.
No,
just so
because-
that I could read the next chapter. And they're going, no, I've got to get through to the next thing. The good thing about Harry Potter is that generally when you've finished it, although I can still talk for hours about it, I don't have to read that next chapter in the same way that I did when I was reading it through the first time. So that's a lot less ethically grey there.
Well, no, because it wasn't
'Cause
written
it-
to
I
be
don't
addictive.
think-
J.K. Rowling didn't go, I will write the thing. You're trying to argue morals of stuff that is just accidental. Like, certain parts of game design are addictive, but the person, like, Fast and
Just
Light
because
wasn't designed
murders,
to be addictive.
just because someone accidentally murders someone doesn't stop it from being morally wrong to go
Yeah,
around
but this
murdering
is
people.
just the way the person want their mechanics to work. They went, I want to make the mechanics work in this way. If that happens to be something that some people go, I must keep playing this game for these reasons, then that's like.
It's like the Conservatives. I mean, just because they want to close down
I'd
the
say that word,
NHS to help them, I mean, it doesn't mean that it's ethically wrong. It does mean it's ethically wrong, even if their intentions are pure, which they don't think they are anyway.
They're not.
But
They're not even slightly.
what
That's-
they're doing
that's the worst
is
example
still-
in the world.
It's not. It's the best for proving my point.
No, it's not, because it's not making entertainment. It's like splitting
It's
a film.
doing something.
It's like splitting a film, because that just means we have now 2 films. You have to go see both films, like The Hobbit.
Sometimes
Part
that
2
makes
and 3.
sense. Sometimes it makes sense.
Also, it's okay to do that, to just drain money and do things and stuff, and go, actually, we'll get the people to stay in there for a little bit more and a little bit longer.
Sometimes.
Boop. So sometimes it's-
I have
Fast and
never
Light-
really
Fast and Light wouldn't
found
work without the mechanics that you called
Okay.
make it addictive.
for
Is it? We've
films.
gone way
I've
over,
never
haven't we?
come into an example of it. We do have it with television, long-running television shows where they have cliffhangers, and they build a cliffhanger into a
Like
plot.
Doctor Who. Every week a cliffhanger.
Yeah, Heroes season 1 was very. They'd put you something at the end, and you'd be like, "Oh, I really want that."
Very much.
And so, because of that nature, there was some addiction there, and that's sort of what I was talking about with the J.K. Rowling.
But that's like
Every chapter you go through,
that's like
but I think mostly that's okay.
that's like just saying that Rolos exist, and when you eat the final Rolo, you go, "Fuck! I have to eat more Rolos." That's just the world. That's the way of the world. That's like saying that Rolos just shouldn't exist because they're fantastically
I'm not saying.
addictive.
Sorry,
And
I'm
someone
not
who's allergic to
saying.
chocolate can only eat like one. That's sort of on the cusp.
I'm not saying
They
shouldn't
are a
exist.
dangerous
I'm just
thing.
saying ethically wrong. Are they ethically wrong, or are they not ethically wrong?
No, if the game was designed with not to be addictive, it was just designed to be the best mechanics it can be, not to be addictive, that is ethically fine because the person didn't have any ulterior motives. If someone goes, I'm going to make the most addictive game in the world, regardless if they want to make money
But
for
if
it
someone
or something.
accidentally makes the most addictive game in the world,
But that's fine. They accidentally made the most. That's not
but
intention.
there's still a problem with it because
There's
it's
a problem with the
massively
game, but it's not an
addictive.
ethical problem because it wasn't them that put the thought in. An ethical problem is when someone goes, I will do this thing, which is bad. But this person went, I would do a good thing, and suddenly it just shit happened.
But surely, by trying to make a game as playable as possible, without realizing what they're actually doing is making the game addictive, but they are aiming to make the game addictive,
No,
but
I'm
without
saying
using the
people don't
word
make-
addictive.
No. It depends.
They're not trying to destroy people's lives. They're just trying to make them play that game constantly.
No, that's not even what people do. People make a game to go, this is the best mechanics, and then people can just play around it. Very few game designers go, this is a game we're going to build it's going to be random or repetitive and stuff, and people can do whatever, and we're going to just try and make it as addictive as humanly possible.
They
that
don't
never
use the
happens.
word addictive, but playtesting is half of playtesting is making sure that things are accessible, and half of it is we'll try this
You're
mechanic.
just trying
now
to
let's
argue
find
because
out
you
this.
just want a world where every game is single player and linear. That is what you're arguing now.
Okay.
That is the
Firstly,
point of what you're
yes, I
arguing.
would like that. But secondly, I actually like games where you have levels of progression through and some sort of, you have to go through and your character grows. And I
don't
kind of
really.
like leveling. And
I
those are
like-
also all things which are part of an addictive nature.
You see, I like toy boxes. My favorite kind of game is a toy box. A game
Yeah.
which just goes, here's some tools, do whatever the hell you want with it. That's
Yeah,
why
and
I'm
I do not-
so much better at getting deaths for 13 Ways to Die
Yeah.
than you are. Because you freaking suck, man. You suck at that. You don't have that inventive thing. It's like I walk in, he was doing some telly stuff, and I walked past and went, that was a death. You can edit this in this way, and that was a death. He's like, how do you do this? It's because I play games differently.
I'm fairly
I play-
confident it's not going in.
Like, I know, 'cause I did so many other good
Me
ones.
being
so I
a
was like,
moth or something.
I'm addicted to making good editing. But no, there was lots of oh, my mind's gone. I give up. Basically, I like toy boxes, was what I was going to say. I like the toy box game. I like a game to let me do whatever the hell I want with it for however long I want.
They're very much not addictive games.
And they're very much, Fast and Light I consider a toy box game because it lets me do whatever I feel like.
It's not because, and that's the thing, right? Faster Than Light would still be the same game if it wasn't randomly generated. And the reason it's randomly generated is to encourage you to constantly come back and retry rather than to learn. It's not a learning process. It is a learning process. To come back.
It's definitely a learning process.
No, it's not.
It is.
What? It's randomly generated. No, why is it randomly generated?
It's randomly generated just so you have different experiences every time you play it. It's a different
game
every time you
addictive.
play it.
Sorry, that is exactly it. What you've just described is something that is by its nature an addictive process. You keep playing the game because it's something different, as opposed to if it's rigid. You then know the precise layout of exactly the universe, so it can be solved.
Something. They don't randomize everything. That's
it's
the thing.
Creating it unsolvable.
Everything. It's not unsolvable because I've got better and better and better the more I played it.
That doesn't mean that it's...
No, you are. You're learning.
It is unsolvable.
What does the glaive beam do? No, it's not unsolvable. I have a perfect way through. I've not lost since I won the... When I defeat the boss the first time, I haven't not defeated him since then. Because you learn systems, you learn ways of playing the game. Because if the game randomized all its elements...
Do you have the crystal ship?
Yes. I have all the ships.
Can you always access the crystal universe?
Yes. Because I've stopped giving a crap about certain elements. I've realised that the big fleet coming along to you aren't a bullshit. You can take them down really easily. There's no way of just really bothering with those. I've also got ways of... There's ways that things pass, but I've seen them certainly in these areas.
I still argue that you cannot guarantee...
You can't guarantee...
If you say that I'm going to do something, you can't guarantee it. And guaranteeing it... I didn't say there was nothing to learn it. I said that you could learn a perfect solution to a rigid game. This isn't a rigid game, and the reason it's doing that is to stop you from learning it and instead make you adapt, which is an addictive response.
You have learning. You don't learn one solution.
Which is a psychological paper. There are psychology papers based on how do you make it really addictive is by doing this, which is why a Pez machine, not Pez machine, the machines where you pull and the things spin round don't always give. No, I'm thinking of the slot machines. Oh. The slot machines are designed to maximise that potential, which is exactly what they've put in, which is an addictive response just to make you addicted. That is all that is. They have put a clearly addictive response. And it's one of the reasons why I had to stop playing the game and why there isn't someone comes through and says, this is exactly how you solve this problem.
There is ways of solving it. I have several solutions that as much as it's still randomly generated, and I still don't know exactly
how if I'm to turn on the game for the first time and I want to get to the Crystal Universe, what paths do I need to take at the beginning?
That's random. You have to define the points. There are specific points. It's much, much easier to go through the certain points, the ones you choose. Like, because you see where all the galaxies are, you can master where all the galaxies are, and it's easier in rock galaxies. So if you pinpoint all the rock galaxies, you have a much higher chance. You can skew your chances.
But it doesn't tell you. You can skew your chances.
Yeah, you can skew your chances and things.
Yeah.
But you can make
skewing your chances doesn't mean that you have solved it.
But there
it means
several
that you're
solutions to everything. And there are some things that you won't hit every time, but you can pretty much define it. I've hit the crystal ship every time I've played. I've played it 4 times since I got last thing, and I've hit a crystal ship every single time.
My point is that you are creating a system, the paradigm you have said, which is it still has some logic and some learning structure to it, which I don't disagree with. But it has put a randomized element into it purely to make it more addictive rather than to make it more accessible.
You use the word addictive, I use the word fun. That's the difference here.
It doesn't... Sorry, the two are not mutually exclusive.
You see, I would be more...
It's like I could say that alcohol is addictive, and there are alcoholics people out there. There are alcoholics out there, and lots of people who are alcoholics out there.
Alcohol has none of the things you're talking about. None of the systems, none of the randomness. It's the same thing alcohol is something that people get addicted to, and that has nothing. There's nothing at the bottom that goes, you should get more alcohol.
Sorry, my comment was that people still find it fun. There are loads of people out there.
No, but I know
we're not though.
You've genuinely just argued the point that everything is addictive.
Lots of things can be addictive, but in this particular case, we're talking about things that have been mapped out by psychologists to be particularly addictive in nature, and this was something that was designed to be particularly addictive in nature, but for the purposes of what you call fun is an addictive nature and something that it can clearly be linked to a psychological knock-on effect of being of that style of nature, and
But
that's why
You're
I claim
classifying
it's immoral.
So much stuff in that single point is the problem. That you take so many different things that can possibly be addictive. Literally anything could be addictive. You could argue collecting paintings. That's addictive. People are addicted to collecting paintings.
Collecting
Drawing,
paintings
people get
can be
addicted to
addictive.
drawing. They just have to draw and draw and draw and draw and draw. Curtains. I have to iron these OCD and crap.
Okay, but
goddamn.
for example, collecting paintings is a wonderful example.
Yeah.
Collecting paintings. People who are trying to sell paintings will make them as part of a collection, which makes them more addictive. Which makes it more. People want a complete set. So that wanting a set is actually a big part of
if you had
addictions.
if you had someone who
and
collected
it's why when you,
paintings-
for example, playable card games and collectible card games, they make some more common and some rarer, and they number them, and they then put little icons to claim it's part of a set, and all of those are ways of making it just that little bit more addictive to make you that much more likely to buy your next packet.
It's a wonderful irony that you're holding just your addiction in your hands while you
This
talk.
is my addiction.
But the fact is,
I
no,
can
with-
live
with
without
paintings,
it, but you're correct.
with
I
the
do.
point, are you saying that if you were an art gatherer, I don't know what the word is, but you gather art, that's your thing, and for somehow the Mona Lisa went on sale. How many art dealers around the world would just jump on that as far as possible and then fight, and they would just be constantly trying to get it? They would work their asses off for it. That's not. What's his face when
Sorry,
he painted
that's not
it?
addiction. The comment was if there's a set, there are ways of making paint collecting more addictive than others.
Yeah.
And if I've got one art gallery who says I have got 6 paintings, and someone else has got 6 paintings but has made it part of a series to try and make people buy multiple copies of things in the series, then he has tried to create his product to be more addictive. And even if making things part of a series is something that is deemed as fun, it is also something that is
you've
created.
just deemed a fantastic point. You have these really high up pieces of art, really the fantastic, the best pieces of art in the world, Picasso's and thingies and whatever's, and people will desperately do anything if they could find those and if they could get them if they weren't on things and stuff. But the people who did that and who want these things are the people themselves. What you've said that the biggest creator of all addiction, because the people who painted these were just painting odd pictures, they didn't give a shit about what happened to any of them.
So not true, but carry on.
Yeah, well, Van Gogh, thank you, Doctor Who, for giving me that knowledge. He just didn't give a shit. It was like, painting, give me beer for painting. But the
but
the
often they
addiction
wouldn't do it.
the addiction there comes from the person collecting it, because they've valued these higher up. And
But there are people
you're
who
saying
make
that addiction
paintings.
comes from the self. We've gone meta here.
No,
and all
my
addiction
claim-
comes from self, because I don't get addicted to things. I would love to
Sorry,
say I
there
get
are
addicted to
natures.
things. That's a
Sorry,
lie, because I'm
there-
addicted to a lot of things.
There are definitely
Editing.
different people have natures of what they're more and less likely to be addictive.
But they could be
to.
anything.
But there are also ways of making something more addictive. People more likely to be addicted
Yes,
to
and
it.
that is wrong. I agree with you that if you try and make something specifically
But
addictive, that's wrong. But if you make something and someone happens to get addicted to it due to the circumstances
I
of their
agree,
brain,
but as I said,
it's not
the
their
nature. I agree. I agree with what you say. And if I was talking about
I like this.
someone
This is the
getting
best Tubecast
addicted,
ever.
I was talking about someone getting addicted to Portal,
Uh-huh.
I would agree
It's a
that
45-minute game.
that's pure coincidence that someone keeps replaying Portal over and over again, because it has almost no functionality in it, which is actually
So what
really
you're saying
addictive.
is that people who make map packs and mods for games are actually feeding people's addictions.
Of course they are,
So
because they're trying to make it
entirely
something that's
just make it-
profitable.
No,
And
not most
in
mods are
making
free.
and making things profitable is also part of that nature. And yes, they're trying to make people play a game for longer. The reason I use Faster Than Light is because I know that Faster Than Light has a very addictive nature, to the extent that
that
I got addicted to it. And when I was recommending it to my dad, he was there going, "I'm not going to play that. I can tell that's as addictive as anything." And both of us have a nature of getting addicted to those sorts of things. Actually, me less so, but he definitely does.
I've been playing Fast and Light actually by my feet on the laptop there the whole time.
But my point is the randomly generatedness
That's just
is...
Do you know where that came from? That came from Rogue. They just wanted to make a roguelike in space. And Rogue had the randomly generated stuff. Just
because they copied it of someone else doesn't mean it's not true.
But they didn't come up with the idea themselves. This is like passive addictiveness. They didn't go, we're going to make this for this. This can't be immoral if you just kind of... If all you ever know is these fun things...
It can be if you're designing something and it goes that way. It's like if you made cigarettes by accident as, hey, this is a nice thing to smoke, and then loads of people start getting addicted and getting cancer from cigarettes,
Yeah.
doesn't mean that then if I was to say cigarettes are morally wrong, you could go, oh, no, hang on. The first person who made cigarettes just thought they were kind of nice. He didn't mean for them to be addictive. Doesn't stop cigarettes themselves being addictive and therefore having a bad nature.
So your ethics are actually with the game,
My
not the
comment
people
is-
who make it. You
No.
think Faster Than Light is immoral, not the people who made
Sorry,
Faster
I think
Than Light.
Faster Than Light is dangerously addictive, not that the people themselves are necessarily wrong, but I also think that the people who make games should be more aware, and the people who buy games particularly, you guys, should be more aware
guy
of the addictive nature of these sorts of games.
I
I think
just
that's the
buy
end of our
everything.
Tubecast. I think we've lost everyone, and we're repeating ourselves.
I buy everything. I don't care. I to be perfectly honest, I play games like solidly. Like when I get into something, I'm like, I'm playing this now forever. Although today was my day off, and I utterly failed to do that. I'm addicted to work.
Yes, you are.
No.
So, lessons of today. I say, think about what you buy. Dan says, just throw money at stuff.
No, I say that games are immoral, but the people who make them aren't.